Hey there, party people. It is Roshanda Pratt. You may know me in the digital streets as the Rose Show Live. And I am so excited as you are coming in. We are streaming live right now on two platforms. We are streaming live on YouTube and also on LinkedIn. So as you're coming in, let me know what platform you're watching from right now. Also, represent your city, state, or country as you are coming in. I'm just going to do a quick check of my audio to make sure that you guys can hear me okay and that everything is okay. Yep. The audio is great. Awesome. When you're working with technology and doing these kinds of things, you got to make sure that everything is okay. I see that Nathalie is here and she's watching us from YouTube. Nathalie, thank you so much for being here. Listen, if you guys are over on LinkedIn, make sure that you connect to Nathalie. She is absolutely amazing. So today we're talking about the biggest trends that will shape your personal brand, business, and content strategy as we go into 2025. I'm pulling back the curtain and I'm sharing with you some things that I'm doing as a thought leader. I'm also sharing with you some of the conversations that I've had with other thought leaders and also some of the trends and some of the things that I have seen over the past year and what's to be expected as we go into 2025. If you're just tuning in, I'm Roshanda Pratt. I am a speaker and communication strategist who watches the trends or pays attention to the forecast for the next year so you don't have to. If you are ready to stand out on social media, create content that gets you seen, position yourself as a thought leader, then this live video is for you. As you come in, again, let us know where you're watching from. Tell me a little bit about your business. And also, sharing is caring. Go ahead and tag another leader in this broadcast. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, hello to my LinkedIn family. Go ahead and tag another leader. Go ahead and share this out on your platform as well. If you're on YouTube, listen. If you're not already following me, hit that subscribe button, but also copy and share this out with other people because this is going to be really good. By the end of our conversation, you'll know exactly how to position your brand for maximum visibility, the content trends to jump on, and what platforms are about to explode as we go into a new year. Also, if you stay until the end, I'm going to share how I can support you in 2025 so you can be seen, heard, and paid. Now, as we go forward, there are a couple of rules of engagement that I want to share with you. Okay. When you hear a gem, along with taking your notes, I want you to go ahead and drop the fire emoji. Okay. If you hear something, hey, Adrian, good to see you, sis. I want you to drop a fire emoji. I also want you to share this live with three other friends who you know need to see this. Chad, good to see you. Glad that you are here. Okay. And then also, we're going to use this chat. You guys see that I'm already engaging in the chat. That's a great time for you to ask questions. Now, I want to be very clear about this. I have pages of notes, right? I also have action steps for you to implement some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you. Did you hear what I said? I have action steps. So I want you to understand this is not a live where I'm just going to be skimming over the things, but I'm actually going to talk to you and show you some case studies and talk to you about how you can use that. Chaste, my client, is here with her crew, FBN in the house. Good to see you. And Mick from Georgia is here. Man, I'm glad that you guys are tapping in. Thank you so much for being here. So, let's go ahead and tap in. Hope you have pen and paper. Hope you have your favorite notebook because this is about to be amazing. Again, the replay will be up both on YouTube and also on LinkedIn. So you guys can always go back and check the replay. All right. First and foremost, we have to set an intention and deal with a mindset issue. Number one, visibility isn't an accident. It's intentional. You and I being seen, heard, and paid as a thought leader, as an authority, as an expert in our field is not an accident, it's intentional. Now, I know I'm using the word um, trends. And I use that word because sometimes it's just easier for you all to understand. But really, what we're talking about today is not just trends, we're talking about, dare I say it, a prediction or a forecast to the future of your visibility. And so, what we discussed today is really going to decide this. It will separate those who chase the trends from those who lead them. Let me say that again. What you do with this information today will separate you from those who are always chasing, which means you're always trying to play catch up from what's running away from you, or you decide to show up as the leader in your industry and you decide to show up and dominate and take space. There is a difference, friends. There is a difference. And what I want you to understand is, as a leader in this space, as a person who has people following, whether you have a following of 20, a following of 200, or a following of 2,000 or 2 million, you are a leader and you have people who are following you. So it is your responsibility to lead them well. This is why I'm also just getting away from this whole thought of, influencer, being an influencer. Everybody wants to be an influencer, blah, 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 blah. I'm really getting away from that because influence comes with leadership. And I think too often in this space, we have a lot of people who want to influence, but not enough people who want to lead. We have a lot of people who want to influence people to buy their said thing, but we don't have enough people who want to lead in their industry, to help shape their industry, to contribute to their industry, to be an disruptor in their industry, to be an innovator. We have a lot of people who want influence, but we don't have enough people who want to lead. And there is the difference. So I want you to pay attention to some of the things that I'm going to share with you and decide today, as you hear me talking, I want you to decide today, you know what? I'm hearing what Roshanda says, and I want to be a leader in the space. So if you are ready, let's go with our first trend. I'm going to be sharing 6 trends with you. Again, I'm going to explain the trends, and then I'm going to talk about some action steps. And we actually have a cool graphic that was going to talk about the action steps for you. All right, let's get into this. Number one, AI generated content. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, AI is here to stay. But here's how you stand out. Be the editor and not the robot. This year, as we saw the influx of things like Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, all of these different AI platforms, we saw a lot of people who were using AI, but everybody was starting to sound alike. And the difference is understanding how to use AI, but not to sound like a robot, but to use AI in conjunction with your human spark, which equals innovation. So AI tools are already revolutionizing content creation. In fact, I used AI to help to create this year's State of Visibility address. But by 2025, they will be a regular part of social media strategies, right? I use AI as a co-producer on some of my video content. I use AI to help brainstorm ideas. So AI is going to help brands and creators scale their content production, right? Opus Clip is a great AI tool that I use to take a long form video content like this, and they're able to edit it for me into short form video content, to writing video scripts, to images, captions, enhancing personalization and audience targeting. Okay. The key will be blending AI generated content with authentic, human driven narratives. Notice I said human driven narratives. So while you're using AI, you're not just copying and pasting and putting that on a social post. You're taking what you're getting from AI as an assistant and you're marrying it to your human narrative. What's going to be very important, ladies and gentlemen, as we're talking about AI generated content, that in 2025, what's going to be extremely important is understanding that vulnerability, authenticity, and transparency. Those are going to be the key things when it comes to doing that. So we will see social platforms will start to likely, and they're already doing this, integrate AI content creation tools. So we see that uh, on LinkedIn, AI can help you write your direct connection of a message. We're also seeing on Meta, on Facebook, that they're actually asking you, trying to get that out, to tag your AI content. Okay. So they're going to start to put more of these AI systems and tools directly in their system to really help you produce more engaging and tailored content. So here's what we have to understand here, right? AI generated content. So this means, right, the action step for you is that you have to learn how to use AI tools like ChatGPT for video script creation, captions, and idea generation. You have to learn how to use those things. We can't ignore it anymore, ladies and gentlemen. It's here. And while it's here, we have to learn how to use these tools responsibly. Some of the things that I have been doing in the speaker space, especially the latter part of this year, is we've had a lot of organizations that have asked us to come in and to work with their team and to work with their people in helping them understand how to use AI responsibly. Responsibly. When we don't understand a thing, when we don't understand the purpose of a thing, you know what happens? We abuse it. So your action step is, if I know that AI generated content is going to be around me, then I have to learn how to use it. I have to learn how to be transparent with my audience. That gets into ethical AI. So I have to understand how to use these things. Is this helpful? Is this helping you? That's right, Nathalie. We can't ignore it anymore. It is here. I love Nathalie saying that, listen, AI is going to help content creators scale. I agree. Adrian says, listen, be the editor and not the robot. AI tip, hashtag. Totally, totally. All right. Number two, which is something I'm very excited about, micro communities. There's something that happened during the pandemic. And one of the things that we noticed is that people really lost community, Lindsay. Good to see you. People lost connection. And now that we're coming back and events are returning and people want connection, there's something powerful and beautiful that's happening with what? Smaller communities, smaller events where there's 50 people versus 500 people. And no shade to the events that have 500 people. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's something about people really craving more personalized and meaningful engagement. And that's when you're getting into micro communities on platforms like Discord, Reddit, and School. Alex Hermosi's app School has really boomed the latter part of this year. You're even seeing private groups on things like Instagram and LinkedIn. Did you guys know that you can have a group on LinkedIn? Yeah, you can. So instead of focusing solely on wide reaching platforms, brands will need to think about how to really shift and niche their networks to engage their core audiences more intimately. This is something that my executive assistant and I have been talking about a lot. So we have a Facebook community. We love our Facebook community. We see some of our community members here from Facebook. But what has happened this year is that a lot of people are complaining that though they have a Facebook community on Meta, that Meta is making a lot of changes. One of the big changes they made this year is that you can't stream through a third party app. You have to use their app in order to talk to your people in that group. They also talked about being locked out of their communities, being shadow banned, their content not really reaching the people who are there in their community. So people are already starting to think, okay, how can I be intentional in creating community? Listen, as humans, we crave this, ladies and gentlemen. As humans, we crave connection and doing life and business with other people. We're already seeing platforms like Substack, right? Or Circle, where they're dedicating or dedicating a smaller audience to gather for focused conversations. You'll see a lot of podcasters who do this and put it behind a paywall, right? Where if you want more behind the scenes content, or if you want to go deeper in this conversation, join this thread, this text thread, or get inside this community. So this is really going to be a trend that you want to consider as a thought leader, right? According to one statistic, it says this trend is linked to the rise of the creator economy and personalized content creation. You guys, even Oprah's doing this. Oprah Daily has turned into this. It's a community, though it's a big community, but it's a community where you can get curated content that's especially for the people who are inside that community. So, one of the things you want to think about when it comes to building your micro community, here is our action step. Think about creating or joining a niche community on places like LinkedIn groups, Discord, or Mighty Networks. I'm thinking about this currently. I am thinking about starting a group on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has been really good to us this year, and I'm going to get into more of that later. But thinking about how I can continue to connect to my audience. That's really big. Connecting to audience. Because when you connect to this audience, these are the people who will buy from you. These are the folks that will rally behind your cause and effort. These are the folks that will go and tell other people about what you are doing. So, whatever your niche is, right? Thinking about how can I start to build a community? And here's the thing you have to think about. I want to give you a warning here. You have to think about this. If I'm going to start a community, ready for this? If I'm going to start a community, that means I have to be dedicated to that community. So we're even seeing people who are creating positions in their company. They're hiring people where the only thing that they do is help build and grow their community because it's just that important. So I want you to think about, and this is with any trend I share doing this state of visibility address. I don't want you thinking about, oh my gosh, here's another thing to add to my list. No, I want you to think strategically and think about, okay, will this work for me? Do I have the bandwidth to do this? And what does this look like to do this well? Right? To do this well. And so micro communities, game changer. All right. So let me just take a minute here before we tap into the other pieces here. How's everybody feeling? What does everybody think about what I've shared so far? So we are at the halfway point here, and I have 6 things that I'm sharing with you during our state of visibility address. Okay. We're talking about the 2025 visibility trends you need to know so you can be seen, heard, and paid in 2025. I want to talk to the audience here. Those of you who are watching us live right now on YouTube and LinkedIn, I want you to tell me, what do you think about what I've shared so far? Is there anything that you're like, oh, micro communities, I want to be a part of that? Yes, I want to tap more into AI next year. What are you thinking? Let me know. Nathalie is dropping the fire emojis. I asked you guys to drop that when you hear gems. So she's doing that. I want to hear from you all. What are you thinking about what I'm talking about before we go into the next thing? I love this. We'll also remember to share this out, tag another leader in this state of visibility address. This is something that I've been doing for the past couple of years, just really helping people to understand where the focus is, because I spent a lot of time looking at the trends and the predictions, talking to other people, reading articles, so that way you don't have to do the digging. I'm doing it for you. Adrian says, definitely going to tap into AI with authenticity next year. Lindsay said the same thing. Definitely leveraging AI moving forward. Yes, it is a wonderful tool. That's the thing. AI is a tool. We're not using it to replace people. I know there's a lot of talk about AI is going to replace people's jobs. No, the person who's using AI is going to replace jobs. So it's like, how do I use it efficiently and effectively to do what I'm called to do? All right, let's get to the third one, which is I'm trying to calm down. This one is my absolute favorite, and it's something I'm doing right now, and I'm so excited. Long form video is making a comeback. More people want deep dives and real conversations and not 15-second sound bites. So we have been living in a short form video world for a very long time. Short form video is anything that 60 seconds or less, right? Long form video is usually something that is 6 minutes or more. This video is considered long form content. And I'm so excited about this because while short form video, like TikToks and Instagram Reels, will continue to dominate and show up in 2025, we're going to see a resurgence in long form content because people are looking to go deeper. So, live streams like what I'm doing right now, YouTube videos, and podcasts will become critical platforms for brands and creators to share in depth stories and expertise. And I'm so excited about this because honestly, I try to get all my clients to do long form video. Because here's the thing, we have been live now for 23 minutes as of this mark right here. If I was to end this live video right now, I can then take this 20 minutes of content and turn it into 7 other pieces of content. I just want you to do the math. That's working smarter and not harder. Long form, I can take this 20 minutes and turn it into 7 other pieces of content. Whereas when you're doing short form video, all you have is 15 seconds. All you have is 30 seconds. But if I have 20 minutes, you know how many pieces of video, short form video, email, podcast, so much richness comes out of this. And yes, Chad, definitely video podcasts are a thing. Okay. I love this. Adrian dropping the gems here says, and YouTube allows us to make chapters in long form videos. So good. I love it. Yes, it's about working smarter and not harder. So I love this. I'm going to put in a plug here. If you haven't already done so, my book, CEO, trying to get it from the light here, CEO of Live Video, really is, as some have called it, the Bible on how to do live streaming well. It talks about everything from engagement to storytelling to building a brand with video. And the thing of why I'm so proud of this book that you can get anywhere on Amazon, any one of your major book retailers, just get the newest edition. This is the second edition with my face on it, is because it also marries my 20 years of television news experience. It's a game changer. So I'm sharing what I've learned 20 years working behind the scenes as a television news producer and what I've learned in building a digital brand online. Listen, Adrian has had so much success with tapping into live video. And I love that she says it truly is the Bible of live video. It is. I'm not saying that. So many people have said this. And so I really want to encourage you, if you want to tap into long form video for 2025, right? It's one of the trends to look out for. I want you to take a look at this and get this book, CEO of Live Video, available on all major platforms and Amazon. Okay. Here's the thing, LinkedIn is already pushing towards longer video, more thoughtful post and video content that encourages reflection and dialogue. And this will only increase as people want deeper engagement. Natalie, thank you. She says, CEO of Live Video is a must for all exceptional leaders. Buy it now. I love it. Sherry says, I have my copy. I'm excited to dive in. Thank you so much, Sherry, for the support. Glad that you are here. So let me show you what I mean about this video thing. Now, forever, people have looked at LinkedIn as it's uber professional and we're just supposed to talk about business and looking for a job in our resume. LinkedIn is not the LinkedIn of 5 years ago. Honestly, LinkedIn is not the LinkedIn of 12 months ago. And so LinkedIn has rolled out, if you haven't noticed, a video tab. much like what you have on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, where they're now prioritizing video, right? Here's what I want you to see. This video, look at this. I want you to check this out. This is real stats. A video that I posted on LinkedIn from a longer form piece of content, over 100,000 impressions. Can we say that again? Over 100,000 impressions. A video. That video, the last time I checked, was able to reach, this is all organically, I didn't put any money behind it, 45,000 accounts. It's growing my account, and it's grown my email list. Video. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone's not posting video on LinkedIn. They're not. So here's the thing, and this is why you come here to the State of Visibility Address. I'm giving you free game. And so just think about, if you decided, you know what, starting now, going into the first quarter, I'm just going to start posting more videos on LinkedIn. You're going to be drastically ahead of everyone else. This is why I'm doing a 90-day visibility sprint with about 5 bold leaders who decide that, you know what, I am ready to go all in on video content, and I want a strategy. I want accountability. I want to be in community, because I'm going to take the first 90 days of the year and I'm going to go all in. We're going to talk more about the 90-day visibility sprint a little bit later. But just think about, I want to just bring this up again. This is real. You see, this is a screenshot. I'm not making this up. This is from a video post, which, you know what happens, ladies and gentlemen? That video post then helps my static post. So long form content, think about how to incorporate live video content in what you're doing. You can do a YouTube series. You could do a live Q&A. Repurpose those clips into reels and shorts. Remember, I just talked to you about that. Nothing is wasted when it comes to content creation. Nothing is wasted. So you take this long form video that you do a YouTube series, then you take those things and you repurpose the clips into reels and shorts. Game changer. And we understand that social media platforms love this. Is this helping you all? Is this, like, tell me, what are y'all thinking about this? Is this helping you? I love it. Adrian's like dropping the fire emoji. She's like, yes, this is helping. I love it. Nathalie said, I started posting more videos on LinkedIn after the 2024 State of Visibility. Roshanda is the GOAT. Thank you so much. Mwah. And I'm so glad that you did this. I'm so glad, because this puts you ahead. And even back then, I was forecasting, hey, they're going to start to do more with this video thing. And now they're really rolling it out. So you are ahead of the game. That's right, Adrian. When you make this longer form video, you have content for days. I love, love, love that this is helping. Awesome. All right. So let's get into it. The next one. This is something that we saw take off, especially during Black Friday. Some of you may have even participated in this, okay? If you're just tuning in, I see we have a couple of new people who are coming in. If you're just tuning in, I'm Roshanda Pratt, communication strategist and speaker, working with thought leaders and helping them to understand that their visibility is power, how to build a thought leadership digital brand that helps them to be seen, heard, and paid. And this is my annual State of Visibility address. So I'm sharing with you the trends you need to know as you go into 2025, so you don't have to do the Google search. I'm already doing it for you, and I'm already telling you what to pay attention for. I'm so glad that you are here. We're streaming live right now on Facebook and LinkedIn. So thank you so much for being here. If you're just new to the broadcast, let us know what city, state, or country you're tuning in. And if you're watching in the replay, and how do you know you're not watching, you're in the replay? You don't see the red live button. That means you're in the replay audience. Make sure to put hashtag replay. So The next trend to look out for. These are for my people who have a product, shoppable video and social shopping. Every post now can be a storefront. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram are making it easier to sell in real time. Black Friday on TikTok looked like the home shopping network. Did anybody else see that? Did anybody pay attention to that? Seriously. I was on TikTok for Black Friday, leading up to Black Friday, the days after Black Friday, and all of these people were live on the Clock app selling links already there. Their products. I've seen so many people report making six figures in a weekend selling on TikTok. So social commerce will continue to expand with more platforms integrating seamless shopping experiences. Now we know that TikTok and Instagram have already added advanced shopping features. But by 2025, we'll likely see the rise of shoppable live streams and short videos becoming the norm. So just imagine a video pops up, you're talking about said book, and I'm able to put a direct link in there while in the video, and you click on it and you're able to add that to cart. Think about doing a live video and say there's several of my favorite live stream tools that I want to sell, and I can have a carousel of all these things here, and you can click, 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 and add to cart. This is going to be so amazing because what this is allowing people and brands like you and I to offer real-time product demos and immediate purchasing options within the content. So this means if you are selling a product, you need to sell like QVC. I see so many people who are selling online wrong. Click the link in the bio, click here, click here, click here. No, it's about creating a shopping experience. The reason why QVC and the Home Shopping Network became such a boom is because they understood how to create an experience. A recent report predicts that social commerce sales will nearly double from 2023, will double what they were in 2023, excuse me, to in 2025. They're going to double next year. That means the person who was selling this year and made 300,000, I saw somebody report that, through TikTok shop and live shopping, next year, 600,000. But you know what you have to understand? That goes back to understanding how to do live video. We have to have a strategy. So let's talk about that. Okay. Learn live selling strategies and consider how to make your videos shoppable. So we have to understand live selling strategies. We have to understand storytelling. We have to understand how to engage with the audience, right? We have to understand how I teach my clients how to educate people to the sale. All of those things and strategies are going to be important. So we have to understand how to live sell because there is a skill in which to do it. Love it. You guys are dropping the fire emojis. I love it. This is helping you guys. I love it. All right. Number 5, personal brands. LinkedIn talked about this a lot in its 25 big ideas for 2025. If you haven't seen it, it's an amazing piece of an amazing guide. They do this every year where LinkedIn shares its top ideas, much like what I'm doing for the next year. And one of the things they talked about is that more and more corporate brands are going to start to utilize their employees as brand ambassadors. And they should have been doing that, using their people as brand ambassadors. So people trust people, ladies and gentlemen, not logos. People buy from people. People trust people. So CEOs and founders must become the face of the brand, right? People are really starting to lean into trusting individual voices, and that will outpace that corporate messaging. So those influencers and become thought leaders, and even employees of companies will become more visible than brands themselves. What we have seen this year in particular, the fantasy over celebrity has come to an end. Thought leaders have become the new celebrities. Think about all the things that are swirling around in the space, right? We have things that happen with Diddy. We have people being dropped in the Epstein things. We have all of these things that are coming out, right? All of these things are happening. And people are over celebrities. When we think about the presidential election, right? When we think about strategy, and I'm just using this as an example, this is not about politics. I believe everything can be a parable for teaching and learning. But when we think about strategy, the VP, Kamala Harris, leaned a lot on celebrity endorsements, right? Nothing wrong with that. Versus Donald Trump, who was on a podcast, Joe Rogan's podcast, right? And I was reading this influencer talk about how they were in line to vote. And a lot of people said, oh, I'm voting for Trump because he was on this podcast. See, people are starting to trust the people. Come on. People are starting to trust the regular Joe Schmo who has a podcast. People are starting to trust more the person who I see their content every day. Many of you are here because you trust me as a voice to help you create your strategy and brand as you go into the next year. It's not because I'm Oprah. So we have to understand that companies will really start to leverage personal branding. That means you got to develop your personal brand, leaders, and allowing CEOs to act as brand advocates. So you have to develop your personal brand. Let's take a look at our action step here. Elderman's trust barometer reflects this shift, showing that trust in people like me and technical experts has increasingly outpaced trust in traditional advertising. Let me just get on the screen here. Let me just explain this to you. Trust into regular people. This means I trust Roshanda, I'm going to buy her shirt. I trust Roshanda, I'm going to buy this mug. I trust Roshanda, I'm going to go get her book. Regular people. And so they want to hear from people like them. So here we got personal brands over corporate brands. You have to go back to video. You have to start showing up on video more frequently. You have to be able and willing to take people behind the scenes. That is how you start to build this personal brand. You have to be willing to show people, right, your mission statement, who you are, some of your failures. You know, the story you're not telling is probably the story you need to tell. That part. We have to start building our personal brand, and every single one of us has a personal brand. Every single one of us. Listen, this has been great. So I'm going to do a quick reset. Okay. We are talking about the state of visibility for 2025, visibility trends that you need to know. We've already spoken about AI generated content and how that's going to continue to increase. And as AI generated content increases, so does your vulnerability, authenticity, and transparency. We also talked about the importance of micro communities, building smaller communities and not so many bigger communities. People are craving, connection on a smaller scale. We talked about my favorite, with the return of long form content. That would be what I'm doing right now, live stream and podcasts, and taking that long form content and turning it into short form. We also talked about social selling, right? Social commerce, that more and more people are going to be selling online, and that your online feed will probably start to look like the Home Shopping Network. And we also talked about personal branding, okay? We talked about, I love that, Adrian. We talked about the power of your personal brand and how we are going to have more and more corporate people, corporate companies rather, really leaning into using their employees as a brand ambassador, and how you should really be leaning into building your personal brand. All right, number 6, let's get into the last one here. And then I'm going to share with you some things or strategy in order to take some of the things that we shared. The last thing is authentic user generated content, or UGC. We saw a lot of this birth in the pandemic, honestly, with TikTok. The algorithm prioritizes what looks real, not produced. So as audiences grow up, mature, become more sophisticated, overproduced content will start to lose its appeal. This is good news for all of you and even me, because there was a time in the content creation space where you probably didn't create the short form content or the long form content because you're like, I can't do these fancy edits. I can't do the zoom. I can't pop up the emojis. I don't even know how to edit like that. And so you feel so intimidated. You feel like your thing doesn't look fancy smancy. So you do nothing at all. And I'm just telling you, people are not even looking for that anymore. It's nice if you can do that. And there's some AI software, by the way, that already does that. But if you are just overwhelmed by that and thinking, wait, there's no place for you, listen, by 2025, user generated content, UGC is what they call it, that feels raw and authentic will dominate. Brands will actually encourage customers to start to share their experiences directly. And I had this happen at one of my favorite places, Target. So I got a customer survey because I went in to return something and they were asking me about my user experience. And as I clicked through the numbers and all the things, there was an opportunity at the end for me to record a video. I was like, this is another reason why I love Target. An opportunity for me to record a video about my experience, about the product that I had, etc. So customers trust UGC because it feels real and relatable. So platforms like Instagram and TikTok are already favoring this style and they're rewarding this unfiltered real-time content in their algorithms. So how can you use this as a brand, right? Ask your clients to share testimonials via video. Post unpolished, authentic clips. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't begin to tell you how many times I created a video and I was like, oh my gosh, that was a mess. I didn't mean to say that. That was in real time. And those videos actually did better. Seriously. Me in the car. For some of you, you're just like, I don't have a fancy background like Ro. I don't have all these things, but you got a car. And honestly, the car is the best place to create content during the day. First of all, it's great lighting that comes in. It is, you're secured in there. So the audio is amazing. It's the best place to do it, in your car, parked, of course. But you're thinking about, I need all this polish and all this ritz. And honestly, what people just want is you. They just want your message. They just want what you have to say. What does your client have to say about what you're doing? And so creating a atmosphere, creating a sense of, we want to hear from our people. We want to hear from them. So we shared a lot tonight, right? We shared the 6 things that are really going to catapult as we go into 2025. Here's the thing that I want to ask you, and I want us to talk about this, maybe because I want to hold you accountable. Which of these trends do you see impacting you the most in 2025? Is it AI generated? Some of you have already said that. Micro communities, long form content, social commerce, social selling, building your personal brand, or UGC content? Which is the things here that you're just like, you see that's going to impact you the most in 2025? I want to hear about it. And I also want to talk to you about, what do you do with what I just shared with you? Because it was a lot. And I really want you to think about that visibility isn't a one-time event. It's a daily decision, right? I love that Ms. Z says, all of them. Erica Brown, good to see you. She says number 5. So I'm going to go back here. So personal brand. Erica's talking about this one. This is the one that she says is really going to impact her and she wants to focus on. I love that. Micro communities and long form content. Yes, I love that. I love that. Visibility isn't just a one time event. I want you to commit to that. It's a decision. If you're not seen, you can't be chosen. If you're not seen, you can't be chosen. So there are three things that I want you to consider as you're thinking about which one you're going to pick here. I want you to think about number one, go ahead and audit your current content. I want you to identify where you're relying too much on polished or overproduced content. Or maybe you're saying to yourself, Roshanda, there is no content to audit. Okay, great. That means you need to get started. But I want you to currently think about what you've done this year and what needs, right? Then I want you to do what Erica says she's going to commit to do, right? And start building a personal brand now, right? And this is something you can do right now. You can start sharing your personal story this week and let people start to see the person behind the brand. And you can share your story on long form video. You can use AI to help you tell your story. All the things that I just shared with you, you can use those things in helping to build your personal brand and tell your story. And then I want you to go all in, right? Go all in on using your voice and using video to do that. Like create a plan to say, I'm going to do 3 live streams, or I'm going to host an audio event, or I'm going to, which is just solely audio, or I'm going to really commit to YouTube. That's one of my strategies going into 2025. We started this year, kind of fizzed out. We didn't have the capacity to do it. Now I understand what the capacity looks like. We've created a workflow, and that's one of the things that I'm committed to doing next year, because YouTube is a giant search engine. And guess what? Just as much as I told you all to make a decision to be visible so you can be found, I want to be found, and I want to be found right here on this major search tool. I want you to think about that. And I know for many people, having a plan, it can still be overwhelming, because while I shared these 3 things on where you could start, you're probably saying, yeah, I still need more support. And that's why I decided to kick off 2025 with a 90-day visibility sprint for leaders who are already making content. Maybe you have written a book, that's content. Maybe you have created the short form videos. You started off doing live videos and then you kind of pulled back. You have a weekly newsletter, or you just have written posts on social, but you realize, you know what? I really need to tap into this video content. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when we start to see platforms like LinkedIn prioritizing video, you got to pay attention to that. When you're starting to see all the major platforms, even Pinterest, have video, you have to pay attention to that. And so this 90-day visibility sprint is for leaders, thought leaders who are just like, listen, I need to get in here and have a content plan and a communication strategy so I can be seen, heard, and paid in 2025. And this is how it looks. It is a bi-weekly coaching session in a small group, a micro community, with you and other leaders and me. You get an opportunity for me to teach you how to tap into what is the content that you need to be sharing. For many of you, you're just like, I don't even know what content. What should I share? Right. And so we're helping you to tap into what's the content that you need to be sharing to reach your people. We also help you to tap into creating a sustainable game plan, that you're not just posting content when you're with me, but how do you sustain this once we're done working together? What does that look like? So we're creating a communications plan with you. You also get an opportunity to have someone to critique your videos. What would that look like for you to record a video and be able to say, hey, Ro, I just recorded this video. Before I post it, can you help me? Can you tell me where I can improve? What would you recommend? You have an opportunity for someone to critique that. You also get an opportunity for hot seat coaching in the moment, in real time. This is I'm so excited about this. And then, of course, we're going to share some of my favorite tools, some of my favorite templates to also help make content creation really simple and easy for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not short on content. I actually am bursting at the seams. If I was to end this live video, I can totally start another live video. And I'm not trying to figure out what would I say. I have a bunch of content ideas in here, and I have an Excel sheet with a bunch of content ideas. I am not at a deficit to say. And what's beautiful about that is I'm not at a deficit. You ready for this? On what to say on a podcast because I already have ideas. So we're going to talk about how to tap into becoming your own producer, how to think like a producer. And so again, this is for thought leaders who want to come in and do the work. I am not going to have you post one video a week. That's not what we're doing here. This is like 2 or 3 videos, and it's going to be sustainable. So you got to be ready to hit the ground running and ready to say, listen, I'm ready to go. Okay. And so again, if that's something that you're interested in, there is a investment in this. But if you want more details about the investment and what it looks like for us to work together, I want you to send me an email, and I'm putting it in the chat, to show up at therowshowlive.com. Show up at therowshowlive.com. If you are new here, please pay attention to how I spell show up. Okay. There it is on the screen. Show up at therowshowlive.com. We already have 2 spaces claimed, and we have room for 3 more. I would love for you to be a part of this. We're going to hit the ground running on January the 6th. And then we meet bi-weekly. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to Google. Stop trying to, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. The time is now. The thing that's always worked to my advantage is thinking like an innovator, not waiting for permission, but giving myself permission. I'm not waiting. I see something, I want it, I'm going to go do it. And I'm going to get the support so I can do it well. If you want to work with brands like LinkedIn, you want to be able to speak on more stages, all of those experiences, working with LinkedIn, speaking on major stages, working with brands like the Kellogg Foundation, all of those things came through video. Every last one of them. We see you in this space. Oh, she's an expert on this. All of those things came through video. And I want the same thing for you. Remember what I said. Visibility isn't an accident. It is intentional. And remember, the trends and the things that we talked about today will separate those who chase trends from those who lead them. And I want you leading in 2025. If you know that, you know what, I need to be a part of this group. If you know that, you know what I don't know, and I need to be a part of this 90-day sprint, then I would encourage you to send me an email to show up at therowshowlive.com. I would love for you to be a part of what we are building. So that way you can finally be seen, heard, and paid on the platforms that matter and the people who are already waiting for you. They just can't find you. Before we end tonight, if you have any questions, please post those. I want to give you an opportunity to answer any of your questions, even about the 90-day visibility sprint. Also, I want to remind you that if this brought you value, would you do me a favor? Will you share this with someone that you know who's serious about their visibility in 2025? Hit the share button. Copy and paste it, text it out to your group chat, put it in your groups and communities and say, hey guys, you need to watch this because people need to understand the state of their visibility as they go into 2025. Okay, I don't see any questions. Okay, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for being an amazing audience. This is so great. I believe that it was helpful to you. Remember the ask that if you want to be a part of the 90-day visibility sprint and you want more details, listen, send me an email at showup@therowshowlive.com and I will respond to your email tonight. Okay. depending on when you're watching this live or in the replay. I will respond. We're going to hit the ground running January 6th, and I'm so excited about the leaders who already said yes to themselves and looking forward to building their personal brand in the digital space as we go into another year. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for engaging. I'm really excited about 2025 for all of us because you deserve to be seen, heard, and paid, my friend. Your visibility is power. And I'm so excited about your future. You guys have a great evening and God bless. Talk to you soon.